Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hey folks, I'm Mike. This is Inkdependence, and this is Graf von Faber-Castell's Burned Orange. This was actually an ink that came out, I don't know, a year or so ago, I suppose, and I 100% slept on it. I don't know why. It's a Graf von Faber-Castell. I really like all the Graf von Faber-Castell inks that I've used. They come in these big, beautiful bottles. It's an orange ink. I mean, it's called Burned Orange, which is totally fun. This is a good ink bottle if you want to display it or something like that. It's gorgeous stuff. And I just kept not reviewing it. I don't know why. I didn't even get a sample of this until a viewer whose name is Donald G sent me this bottle in the mail. So thanks very much, Don. I've really been enjoying this ink. In fact, he sent it to me like last spring, and I don't know. I don't know why. I just kind of forgot to review it. I've just been using it instead. So I'll just put that there. Yeah, there, right there. Cool. So I've been using it in these two pens. This is, of course, a TWSBI Eco. This is the transparent orange one, and I've got an interesting grind on here that Audrey did for me. It's kind of metallic-y. And so I've been using it in there quite a lot. I've refilled this once or twice. Maybe only once. This holds a lot of ink. And this one is a Bexley G10 pen. It's made out of orange G10, which is a fiber-filled resin. And this has a big broad nib on it. So this one's kind of a broad, I don't know, italic-y sort of thing. And then this one is a sort of a, I don't know, just a round, like wet, wide broad. So I've had this orange ink in these two orange pens for quite a while. Just using them and enjoying them. And I was like, oh no, I never reviewed the ink. So this is what this ink looks like. It looks like fall to me, honestly. I really like this ink a lot more than I thought I was going to. I love orange inks. I just reviewed an orange ink that I was kind of a little bit on the fence about, but this one, I am definitely not on the fence about this one. I think this is a really nice ink. You can see here a little bit of shading, and that's really the major quality you get out of these. Some of these Graf von Faber-Castell inks will be document proof, which is their language for being waterproof and light resistant and all that kind of thing. This one is not one of those. I don't really anticipate much water resistance out of this one at all, but a water resistant orange is fairly rare, so I'm not surprised by that. This one looks very different depending on which pen you put it in, which I think is also fun, but not in a bad way. Just kind of, it looks different between these two. So most of this right here is written with that TWSBI, which is a broad is what it started out as, and I thought it was fine, although kind of an unremarkable nib. And then Audrey tweaked it for me, had some fun with it, and now it's kind of italic-ish, although it's an italic I can write with, so I dig it. But that one came out fairly thin at the end of the day, and then and also like not super wet, not super dry, nice thin kind of medium. And then the Bexley G10 has this like big, broad, wide nib. So these are both broads, but man, this one just goes a lot wider. So let's look at it on a couple of different kinds of paper right quick. I say here that it has some mild bleed on the 20 pound, and that's true. We've also got here a fair amount of spread depending on what nib you're using. So I've got some like feathers and such in this from the TWSBI Eco. I've got like quite a lot of spread actually from this big broad nib, but this is a fairly wet nib. This one's kind of in the middle, but not a whole lot of bleed through. Despite that, this is of course that Staples 20 pound, 30% recycled, like the cheapest thing you can get by the ream. So probably what you have in your office or what have you, but it's not great on this paper, but it's not as bad as some others. So this is the Birmingham Relative Cadmium that I did recently, and you can see that one bled quite a lot more. So, I mean, not perfect, but, better than some others that have been on this paper, and so this paper's not great, but I can handle it okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it on the other two papers while I've got those up here anyway. This is the Inky Fingers Currently Inked notebook. This is wheat straw paper, of course. You can find this from the Pen Habits website. And here it is from that broad TWSBI Eco. And this was actually this was before she ground it for me. So this is like the natural one. That's what it came with. So she's changed quite a lot. I like it. And then this is from the Bexley, where it is quite a lot lighter, which is interesting. I think it just spreads out more over the larger tipping. on this nib. So yeah, interesting stuff. It's darker here, lighter here, but still recognizably the same kind of thing. Then here on a Timon River ink journal, you have it here and here. And yeah, this is also before the alteration of that nib. And man, this G10 really, for whatever reason, this one started out real light. I don't know if maybe I had some water in it or something when I first inked it up. I don't know. Let's see how it looks now. Yeah, pretty much the same. I think it just spreads out more over this this tipping material. So yeah, so there you go. Anyway, looks very different depending on what you put it in. It's always important to try inks in more than one pen, I think. So there you go. Okay. All right. So as far as the writing samples go, you can definitely see here the difference in these two inks, or these two nibs rather, I should say. This one far finer, you get more of a reddish tone out of that one. This one a lot broader, and it definitely comes off more orange. So to me, it's just bringing out different parts that you find in this swatch, which did not go through this Rhodia pad or anything like that, of course. But I think it's a beautiful like fall leaves sort of color. Okay, so let's go ahead and try some water on this thing. What do I do with my little squirter thing? Here we go. Here we go. All right, on the water test on this guy here, get a little bit of a shimmy, spread it out. As I mentioned, this is 75 milliliter bottle, and it goes for about $32. You can sometimes find it a little bit cheaper. I've seen it like at 28 and that sort of thing on sale at various places. You can also get it in cartridges. So if you just want to try it out and you're not going to be like, I don't know, I don't need 75 mils, because that's actually quite a lot of ink. This is a big bottle. Then you can get cartridges, 6 of them for $4. I found that deal on Jet Pens, but I'm sure lots of other places have cartridges as well. And of course, thanks, Donald. All right, let's mop this up. Mop. There we go. Yeah, as expected, not a water-resistant ink. There is, however, enough, I think, left over for you to read what's going on there, so that's good. It didn't disappear entirely or anything. You can still read, I think, the water test bit. You can see where the lines and dots were, so that's cool. Not water-resistant, but, you know, it'll be salvageable, so that's pretty good. All right. This is the chromatography on this ink, and it turned out real pretty. Actually, when I started doing the chromatography on this ink, I thought it was just going to be orange, because the first colors that moved up were orange, and then it just sort of like, it sort of separated itself, and you get this orange band in the middle, yellow and pink in there. Man, some of these inks are super cool when you do chromatography on them, right? So there we go. That's the chromatography on this guy, but you can see some of the pink left behind, and that's mostly what you're getting here too. I think it's slightly pinkish, but anyway, so that's what leaves behind. Yellow and orange. Fled. Sorry, hiccup there. All right. Let's look at it on a bunch of comparisons here. So this is the Graf von Faber-Castell Burned Orange on a coloring card. The new gold standard for me as far as color comparisons and ink swatch cards. You can see I got this last April. Man, it's quite a while. Sorry about that, Donald. But thanks for sending me the ink. So here it is next to one of my favorite fall colors, which is the Diamine Pumpkin. Diamine Pumpkin, a beautiful bright orange, but definitely brighter in that sort of, I don't know, sort of yellowy orange vein. And then here's the one I just did last week. This is Albert Einstein's Relative Cadmium by Birmingham Pen Company. All right, there. Yep, another sort of more yellowy orange. Then, for another red orange, this is Robert Oster's Fire on Fire with the pen addict Brad Dowdy. And you can see these are in the same sort of color family. I think there's more shading in the Fire on Fire, but not a whole lot. That's a fairly saturated ink too. And this one is as well. You don't get a whole lot of shading in the actual writing samples. You get some of them here in the burned orange, but not a ton. And then, just for funsies, here's a much more red sort of orange, and this is KWZ Grapefruit. I'm not even really sure if this is an orange. Like, it's orange-esque, but it's got a lot of red tones in there. So this is a more reddish one even than Burned Orange. So Burned Orange is a very nice, I think, orange to use in all your pens. Check it out. Put it in some broads, put it in some fines, try it on some papers of your own. Let me know what you think about it, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.